May I meet witches, Graybeard Crowfather here. Hope everybody's doing well, staying safe, and staying healthy. Apologize about Friday night and not getting a video out for everybody. It was a pretty rough day, and luckily, nothing more than just a rough cold. Nothing, you know, devastating or anything like that. Feeling way better now, and fortunately enough, or unfortunate, if you want to look at it that way, that I'm able to go back to work tomorrow, starting for the whole week. So, yay. So, what I'm going to be talking about tonight is because it is the month of December, I'm going to talk about Yule, or as it's also known as the winter solstice. Generally, Yule or the winter solstice takes place around December 20th to the 23rd. It all depends on that particular year. So, one day or the other, it can be any of those days. I have seen it where it's taking place on the 20th before, and I've seen where it's taking place on the 23rd before. I don't recall it ever being any later than the 23rd that I can think of, but there may be that one off where it may actually be like the 24th. So just be aware. If you have like a witch's calendar, or actually any old calendar, it'll give you the date of the winter solstice. It's basically the first day of winter. So when you see that, that's your solstice and Yule. This is the time of the year on the wheel of the year that marks the shortest day and the longest night. The following day is when the darkness starts to recede, albeit slowly, and the light starts to return again, albeit slowly. This is symbolic of the rebirth of the god, as again, that the days start to get longer. So we celebrate it as the time of the wheel of the year that the god is reborn. Um, Yule is a time of celebrations, and there are several different types of traditions that you're probably pretty much familiar with if you have ever celebrated Christmas in the past and in your lives. Um, these traditions have been celebrated for thousands of years, pretty much, you know, from the point of any time in any culture in any country that there's been any form of religion. Um, so you would think that, you know, with Christmas, that all these things occurred because of, you know, Christianity, and it's not. Everything that has to do with Christmas has been taken from some other type of religion, whether it's paganism or a satru or whatever the case may be. It's all been incorporated into it. It's what the Christians did to use to convert pagans to Christianity. Um, so one of the obvious traditions is to bring a tree inside your home and decorate it. That's a pagan tradition stemming back to a lot of Norse or Nordic type of traditions where they would bring trees inside. That's the one that I know of. I'm sure there's other, you know, cultures that brought trees inside the house, but yeah, it's pretty much a pagan ritual. So if anybody ever gives you grief, you know, mock them. Hey, glad you're, you know, participating with a pagan tradition, bringing that tree inside your home. You can bring in holly for protection and mistletoe for fertility. Yes, those also do stem back from pagan beliefs and or traditions. So if you see the mistletoe, although it's fake, hanging from someone's door or on their door jamb, hey, pagan tradition. Now, what my wife and I do is we don't bring a tree into the house. I don't feel that there's a need to go out and cut down a evergreen tree and bring it inside and decorate it, only to just, you know, toss it out in the woods after it's all said and done. So what we have here is, I know you can't see it, but outside here, our house, we actually went to a tree farm, and instead of having the farmer cut the tree down, we asked if he could dig that tree out, and he did. And he gave us a huge tree with a root ball. Well, it wasn't huge at the time. And we brought it back home, and we dug a hole out on the side of the house, and I planted it, and, you know, got it all nice and steady and watered it, and that tree has been outside for 4.5 years now. And so when Yule time comes around, instead of, you know, bringing a tree in, we take lights out and decorations, and we decorate around the tree outside. That way we can enjoy it throughout the whole year. So whatever Sabbath comes along, we actually decorate it. So for Samhain, it'll be orange and white lights, and Yule, obviously the Yule colors, and Beltane will put you know, ribbons and garlands and everything on it, so we can use it all year round. One of the other traditions that stems back from pagan times also is a tradition of a Yule log. So what you can do, if you can, is get yourself a log. Doesn't have to be huge, it can be small. Typically I get a piece of maple or oak from up off our back hill where the trees are already down. I'll find a pretty decent piece, and I'll cut a piece about 18 inches long, and then I'll cut it in half so it's just the round top half. And then what I'll do is I'll actually drill holes in it, and we'll decorate it with ribbons and candles and you know, other pieces of a tree or spruce, and we'll light that log, the candles on the log, during our Yule celebration. And then what we'll do at the end of the celebration is we'll take it outside and we'll actually burn that Yule log. Now, some people tend to burn that Yule log when it's close to the point in time when the sun is coming up the next day, which then coincides with the rebirth of the god. Some people can't stay up that late, obviously. Basically what we do is we actually just reburn it that night. And what you want to do is, if you're going to go the route of the Yule log, is you're going to want to actually save a piece of the log if you can, because you're going to want to take that piece of log and put it on the next year's Yule log. You want to actually add that piece, so you have it like a running tradition of getting the piece of wood and putting it on each next year's log. So, you know, it's symbolic. As far as like your altar is concerned, if you have an altar, at this point, you can adorn it with candles or pine boughs or cedar or wreaths or juniper berries or mistletoe, whatever suits you or whatever you feel is most festive for your particular Yule altar. Doesn't have to be what I said. You can make it whatever way you feel is fit for Yule. If you actually can't burn, I'm going to go back for a second. If you actually can't burn a Yule log, what I do is I suggest to people, if you can take maybe a small candle and, you know, adorn it and decorate it, maybe inscribe some runes into it, and then just burn that candle down, and that can be your symbolic Yule log. If you're going to decorate it with ribbons and such, please be careful. You don't want to start a fire and burn anything down. So if you do, you know, put ribbons and whatnot on it, make sure you take them off before you burn the candle all the way down. So some of the other traditions that we tend to do is, much like Christmas, we will actually exchange gifts with our circle members and family members that actually practice. If you can't or afford gifts, don't worry about it. You don't have to do it. Maybe exchange blessings for each other. Come up with your own blessing and, you know, give that blessing to those persons or people. That can be just as good and as thoughtful as a actual physical gift. Now, when it comes to food for Yule, basically you want to, if you can, you want to make like Yule cakes or cookies. Again, much like Christmas time, you know, the food is generally always appreciated by people. I'm gonna kind of shoot off on a tangent here. We do cookies a lot for our circle members, and I was looking for something special to do for them one year, so I went on Etsy and actually found this cool website that had, not site, but the store that had cookie cutter patterns. So we actually got in touch with them, and this was on their site. It was a triple goddess cookie cutter. So we made about 60, 70 cookies in the triple goddess shape. They came out really well. We put some frosting on them, and everybody loved them. I don't remember the exact Etsy store this was from. I can look it up if anybody does have interest in it. I think this cost like $3.95 or $4.95 or something like that. I don't remember. It wasn't expensive. And then for the past few years, when we do get new members into the group, I've been actually having these. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but I've been getting these decals made up. I have the pattern, and I take it to a local decal place, and it's got the name of our group right here, Sylvan Shadows, and it's got the Tree of Life with the goddess symbol in there, and then the shadow again is the Tree of Life with the horned god symbol. And you can actually take these and put them right on your car if you would like to actually show that you're a member of our group. I have had people ask about them, but it's only really people who kind of know what the symbols stand for, and they actually really think it's really neat. So if you got some type of creativity and you have like maybe a Cricut or something like that, and you can make stuff like this, do that. People will appreciate it, even if it's only like a sticker or something that they can use to adorn maybe their Book of Shadows or any notebooks that they have, or even for their cats running around, even for their laptop or computers or whatever the case may be, even for like a phone case. If you can make one small enough, it'd be pretty cool as far as a gift is concerned. So that's basically how we celebrate Yule. Again, nothing is set in stone. It's basically how you want to actually celebrate it, but that's the main gist of it. Just, remember that it is the time of the year with the birth of the god. So we hold that above all else, but in that celebration, we celebrate it in that way, with getting together with groups and people and families and giving gifts and food and whatnot. It sounds familiar, doesn't it? I'm sure it does. Again, it's going to be pretty hard to do this year because of the pandemic, so I am holding the Yule ritual virtually, and everybody's going to pop on to watch and participate on their own as it takes place. That's all I have for you tonight. Hopefully you'll get some good ideas on how to celebrate Yule on your own this year. Homework: put together a Yule idea, gift list, ritual, something that you can do, celebrate, whether it's on your own or with others. Do it though, because you'll feel much better, practicing it when you can, especially with Yule coming up. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy. Graybeard Crowfather signing off. Blessed be everybody.